Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another Championship predictions video. There's some big games coming. We're into the business end of the season. I'm joined by Sophie. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. Not great after that Luton game though.
No.
Wasn't good.
No, not much to say on that.
No. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get straight into this. We've got Friday night, West Bromwich Albion versus Huddersfield. West Brom picked up their first win under Steve Bruce. Need to get their first home win soon. Huddersfield Town obviously doing pretty well. Obviously unbeaten in about 17, 18 games, which is absolutely mental. Can they catch Bournemouth? Bournemouth dropped points to Peterborough, so you never know. I think this is a tricky game for both. West Brom want to follow up that win with a result. Huddersfield want to keep their run going. They might cancel each other out, 0-0.
See, I'm actually going to back the away team here. I think Huddersfield are in really, really good form. No one would have predicted them to be where they are at the moment. They're absolutely flying. And West Brom, they're underachieving for me. So saying that, I'm going to have to back the Terriers to win. 2-1. 2-1
to the Terriers. Okay, we move on to lunchtime, Saturday. Barnsley versus Fulham. Now, a few weeks ago, this would have been a straightforward Fulham win. And it might still be for you. But I think Barnsley have turned a bit of a corner. I know they dropped points against Stoke late on. It's frustrating. But ultimately, they're looking a bit better. Surely they can't. Surely they can't. If they get something here, it's a real statement to Reading and Derby and all those teams. Fulham look good. I've said they're going to win the title. So I'm going to throw a spanner in the works and say Barnsley can grind out a draw here. 1-1.
See, I agree with what you're saying, that Barnsley have kind of turned a corner and you're thinking, okay, survival on. But they're playing Fulham. So there's only one team that's going to win for me, and that's Fulham. Yeah. I think there's going to be a couple goals just because they're such a good team. So purely because Barnsley have turned a bit of a corner, I'm not going to say 4-0. So I'll say 2-0 Fulham.
Yeah, and fair play to Fulham. They beat Swansea 5-1 in the week. Birmingham City versus Hull City next. Two teams that will stay up but probably finish in the bottom half. So I don't know how much is riding on this. I don't think either team should be too worried about the relegation zone this season, and both can be fairly happy about that. I mean, Birmingham at the start of the season, we expected them to do better. It's not a great season, but for Hull, staying up, good achievement in their first season. Obviously been quite an interesting season with everything that's happened off the pitch as well. I don't want to keep going for draws, so let's chuck a Hull victory in. Birmingham 0, Hull 1.
See, yeah, I was tempted to say a draw as well, because Blues just always seem to draw. If they're winning, they draw. If they're losing, they manage to pull it back to a draw. But I'm going to back them to win this week. 2-1.
2-1. Okay, interesting. Now next up, Blackburn Rovers take on Bristol City. Blackburn want to keep their sort of, well, not a run, but keep results coming in. Okay, they beat QPR, picked up a 0-0 against Millwall, just churning a few more results and they could just get over the line in 6th place. I think it'll be very tight for Blackburn this season. I think they've certainly had that drop-off, which you can expect from Tony Mowbray teams. Bristol City, meanwhile, so hit and miss.
Yeah.
I can't go for a draw. I'm trying to avoid draws here, guys. We'll give this to Blackburn 2-1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to back a Blackburn win as well. It's very hard because on their day they're a very, very good team, but they are quite inconsistent. I'm still going to back them to win though. 2-0. 2-0.
Blackpool versus Swansea City next. Two teams that, on their day, are actually quite decent footballing sides. Swansea, really good against Coventry, and then they get destroyed by Fulham, albeit they had a red card. Blackpool have been really decent this season. Fair play to them with that late win against Stoke the other day. This is really tricky. I don't think there's too much to separate these. I will have to go for a draw here. 1-1.
Yeah, I'm actually going to back a draw as well, but I'm going to say 2-2. I think, yeah, two very good teams going to cancel each other out. It could... For me, this could go either way, and that's why I think they are going to cancel each other out. And for me, I can see goals from both teams, so 2-2. 2-2.
AFC Bournemouth versus Derby County. Now, Bournemouth dropped points to Peterborough of all teams. No disrespect to Peterborough, but Peterborough haven't been good on the road this season. So, as good as that was for Peterborough, it was terrible for Bournemouth. They're still in a strong position with the games in hand, but they need to win this one to put things right. Derby needs something. They need to keep within touch and distance. I can see Bournemouth maybe getting another draw here. Bournemouth 1, Derby 1.
Okay, I'm going to have to back the same as you. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a bit of a shock that, oh, Bournemouth drawing. But Derby, they are all right. They are trying to get these points to safety. It's not looking likely at all now, to be honest. They've dropped quite a lot. But Bournemouth are dropping points as well. And that's why I think this should be an easy win for them. But it's not going to be in my eyes. So a 1-1 draw.
1-1. Cardiff City versus Preston North End next. I believe these two met in the FA Cup a few weeks ago, and I think Cardiff City won that occasion. I I think Preston impressed me against Coventry, and I thought they'd get something against Bournemouth. They went and won that game. I think Preston probably can't make the top 6, but a very strong shout for the top 10. I'm going to back them here 2-0.
See, I think they should be winning this one. I think it's going to be a bit of a freak result. So I'm going to back Cardiff to win 2-1.
Cardiff 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, Coventry City take on Sheffield United. At the start of the season, I was looking at my old videos. I predicted Sheffield United to finish 3rd, and I feel like that could come true. Sheffield United steaming into that sort of top 6, and what a win against Middlesbrough, honestly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Coventry on the same night lost at home to Luton, and the frustrating thing is, same old story. We didn't actually play that bad. We just don't take our chances, and I think teams have sussed that out now. They'll let us have the ball, and they just hit her.
We won't do anything with it. Let them have it. Counter. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go for Sheffield United. I'm sorry to the Coventry fans, but I think you might agree with me. Coventry 1, Sheffield United 2.
Yeah, I can't lie. I'm actually dreading this game because the form they're in and our home form at the moment is just not good at all. So it's a bad combination, and I think we're going to lose. I hate backing us to lose. But what did you say, 2-0?
2-1.
I'm going to say 2-0.
Not even a goal.
No, no, I think we're going to have some chances, but we're not going to score.
Yeah, possibly. Next up, Millwall play Middlesbrough, 2 teams that have got a decent chance of making the top 6. Millwall picked up a solid point at Blackburn Rovers. Middlesbrough, not so good on the road. They are good at home, but not so good on the road. They got a beating from Sheffield United. I think I might go for Millwall based on Middlesbrough's away form not being that good. I think Middlesbrough, if they can turn their home form into their sort of away, if they can get those home results that they're getting, but get them on the road now as well, they could make it. But I'll go Millwall 1-0. They're on a good run.
Yeah, you're back to 1-0. I always back Millwall 1-0, and every time I check their scores, it's 1-0. I don't know whether they just get the goal and then sit back, or I don't know what time they're scoring, to be honest, whether they're waiting and then get it later on, but they just seem to win games 1-0. And as you said, Middlesbrough, they've got a very, very good team, and they've got a good manager, but they are very inconsistent, especially away from home. So I think they might lose, and I'll back a 1-0 as well.
Nottingham Forest take on Reading. Big game because both teams have a lot to play for. Reading are obviously in the sort of strongest position out of the bottom 4, being outside the bottom 3. But this is not an easy game, going away to Forest, and Forest have got everything going on. They're on a playoff charge, they're still in the cup, they've got Liverpool now after knocking out Huddersfield, Leicester and Arsenal. I think Forest win this, but Reading could make it hard work. They've got good players at the moment like John Swift, Lucas João. 2-1 to Forest.
Yeah, I agree. Reading have good players, but I think Nottingham Forest, I think they're just going to be way too good for them on the day, and I think there's going to be quite a few goals. So I'm going to back a Forest win, and a convincing one too. 3-0. 3-0.
Peterborough United play Stoke City. Peterborough, really, really good draw at Bournemouth, but they need to follow it up with something. It's a decent opportunity because realistically Stoke aren't playing for anything. Stoke did pick up a point at Barnsley, so they can be an obstacle to these teams that are still playing for something, but Peterborough have got to get something. I think they won't win, but they might get a draw. 1-1.
You love a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw.
I'm going to back Stoke to win. Yeah, Peterborough, the best chances of getting points is at home, but yeah, Stoke, they're an alright team. Like you said, they're not actually playing for anything, so I think they won't have anything to lose, and they'll be going into this thinking, now we're playing Peterborough, should be 3 points, and I think they're going to get it. So 2-1.
2-1. Luton Town play QPR on the Sunday, the last game out of all of these, really big one. You've got to fancy one of these to make the top 6, maybe both, but there's so many good teams that I feel like one of these could miss out ultimately, and it seems like Luton are on the up. QPR a little bit on the down at the moment. I still fancy QPR to be in the battle, but it's their away form that's letting them down, and then they did lose at home to Cardiff last time out. Luton looked pretty solid against Coventry.
Yeah.
Like we've said, not the prettiest football.
They didn't play well.
But it's game management, isn't it?
They got the 3 points.
They just do that, and I think QPR's away form might let them down here. I'll go 1-0 to the Hatters.
Yeah, just from seeing, they did not play well at all against us, and they got the 3 points. Earlier on in the season, they absolutely hammered us, and they have got quite a good squad. That they've not got many standout amazing players, but they seem to just get the job done. So I'm going to back them to win. I think it's going to be a fairly tight game. Say another 1-0 win.
1-0 Luton, yeah. And Adebayo looked class. They got Cornick.
He's just, yeah, very, very good.
Decent players. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That wraps up this Championship predictions video. Make sure to drop a like. Do subscribe if you're new around here. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.